Hello and welcome then everybody. I'm Nicholas Kraus bringing to you the round number 4. Very excited for it in the eSeniors GT3 World Championship. This time you can see it's going to be at Brands Hatch. Super exciting track, super exciting drivers out there, and we've got lots of action together. Tonight it'll be just me by my lonesome self, but I am gonna bring all the action to you out there from this SimSport solution covered broadcast. And once again, if you are right on out there watching us on YouTube, glad you're joining us here for the action. And likewise, if you're watching this back and you're one of the drivers, how are you doing? I hope your race went well, and glad you're watching back this beautiful stream brought to you from the eSeniors GT3 lads. If you're interested in joining around here, it's 50 years plus, super lovely community, very active Discord as well. Can absolutely recommend it. But let's talk a little bit about the track itself. We're going to be driving at Brands Hatch here tonight in the GT3s. It's showtime for lots of these beautiful lads right on out there. Very tricky track included in the base game, so we could hope that these lads have had a lot of practice around here. I've even gone and posted my lap guide in the Discord actually. Hopefully everybody's up to scratch, and we're going to see a very competitive qualifying here tonight. Last time we were in England as well. Donington was round number 3, Brands Hatch round number 4. We've already covered Barcelona and Bathurst, so 2 of the big B's already out there. And let's maybe have a quick look right around the championship table here. We're going to be transitioning right on over there. Let's have a look together. We're seeing right there up at the front, it's a Ferrari 488 GT3 Evo in the race number 196 driven by Wolfslaner, who got P1 in both the first 2 instances. But we also saw that for Caiola in the number 67, right now 5th in the table, he was able to snag that victory out of Wolfslaner's hands last time round at Donington. So very impressive feat by him right on there. So who do we say up at the front as well? We have an Aston Martin by Jürgen Walby. Very strong stuff. Not quite the race for Bathurst, but it is a very different track to the rest of the season we'll be seeing. And then up there in 3rd position overall right now, at 77 points, it's Derek Bird from England in his Porsche 911 GT3 Evo. In 4th position right now, Patrizio Ongaro didn't quite have the race last time round at Donington in his Nissan GT3R. So I would say that we're going to see a little bit of a comeback despite the machine being so heavy. I think we're seeing good chances right on there. 6th position too, and goes to Lars Eklund here in the 696 Ferrari Evo. Also decent showing, just like Alessandro Diamante, who he finished right in front of last time round at Donington. So it seems that the top front runners have some very good pace here on these different tracks, especially the British ones, you would say. So we're jumping right on over there, get a bit of a top side shot. Beautiful track that is, and I sure fancy driving it. I would say I'm decently quick around here too, as we are getting into qualification in just a minute. So what are we looking at? I would say in terms of the race pace, probably around 1:24-25 for the top runners. I think that could be realistic if we're seeing them really push their limits. Maybe 1:23 perhaps in qualification. But regardless of that, I would say it's going to be tough once you get past the initial couple of laps safe and sound. Overtakes around here are very difficult. So qualification matters really quite a lot. So these lads are hoping to break into the 23s, perhaps, maybe 24. I think they're going to be very happy with that. And definitely Ferrari and Porsche. That's the cars that I'm going to be watching tonight. These mid-engine cars, Porsche almost being rear-engined. So many traction zones. For example, turn 3 here, the exit of Druids. Super important. Or 30s, that's a left-hander, where you're coming onto the hill and down to the Pilgrim's Drop. That's the longer straight, you might know. It's so crucial that you get the car turned in there. So chances are you want to get yourself a mid to rear engine car if you want to go for the top times. But regardless of that, I'm sure the pilots are going to manage just about fine. So with that being said, let's jump right on over. Qualification is there, 24 minutes on the way, and you can hear it a little bit in the background here. We have a couple of cars out on track already, so let's join them there, shall we? And here we are, getting all this set up right now. We're in the pit lane, just getting ourselves stretched and warm. Michael Benchaya looks like he might have a qualification ban considering he's not out there. You can see it in the top right though. Currently the track is at its absolute optimum, 21 degrees in 27 degrees on the track. Drivers are going to be absolutely pushing out there, and just as we might have expected almost at this point, Peter Wurstlaner we're going to have in the picture here in just a second. That's the Ferrari 196 leading the championship as well in that lead lap esports racing. I think it's quite safe to say that a 123.6 is definitely going to get him to the front of the grid. Question remains where exactly he is going to finish. So that's already being set early during the qualification. Who else are we watching? Of course, one more Ferrari up at the front. Lars Eklund right now with a very respectable 123.886, being able to net himself second position for now. We'll probably go for another run after this being his outlap of that. 22 minutes remaining, where right now the third in line, Rodrigo Santos, was able to improve last time round and getting himself into third position with 123.991. Very well driven lap there as well, keeping his cool and perhaps losing just over a tenth that he's looking to find this time round. Could be enough to get himself into second position. Andrea Caiola, very promising stuff last time from the FD Racing Department pilot, and at number 67 Aston Martin. Right now about 4.5 tenths off the pace, looking to find a little bit more as we're going into this Pilgrim's drop, and I'm sure that he's going to find a little bit more time. British tracks seem to be very suitable for the Aston actually as well. And to complete the top 5 for now, we have another Ferrari. Actually, I was saying that Ferrari is very strong. Perhaps some of these drivers actually using the race setup provided that I did provide them. It's one of my best setups really. So Eric Dont in that HOS Racing number 963 here, about 8.5 tenths off the pace with a 124.4. That's enough for 5th position at the moment. Once again, nice improvement there. Wurstlaner goes fastest once again, 123.289. Don't want to miss that as he's absolutely sending the car around the track and looking for that last bit of pace. We did miss Andrea Caiola as well. With the improvement enough for P2, he's looking to chase down the Ferrari driver just like last time, where he was actually enough to get the victory around Donington Park. So around Brands Hatch this time, he'd surely hope to get himself up at the front, maybe hope for a mistake and continue chasing in terms of the pace. Both of those drivers are looking absolutely fine. Lars Eklund here about in the second sector as well, as we're going down the order a little bit, where now Carlos Van Brabant has found himself in 4th position, bringing honor to the Porsche comrades. About 8 tenths off the pace is enough for P5 right now, with 124.105. Fastest lap for him so far during the race. So it's quite nice to see a little bit of variety here, as Alistair Hughes, big fan of him I have to say, in that number 16 Bentley right on there, bringing 1 more tenth through the track right now. Let's see if he can carry it across the line, as we are seeing another Ferrari enter the top 4 here. It's going to be KB Smith in the 555 going for 4th. Don't want to miss how Alistair Hughes crossing the line though. We've got about 2 tenths. Let's see how much pace he can find across the lap. Coming across the line, Alistair Hughes stays 7th fastest despite the improvement. So he's got about another 10th to find right on here. Right there, Lars Eklund, pushing away Kayula into third spot and managing to net himself a second position before he goes right onto the grass there to send himself back to the pit lane. So that's enough for P2 for Lars Eklund there. Peter Wolfslaner still finding time, about 4 tenths up already. So he's looking to break into the 22s. Looking forward to that for sure. Chris Bourne here, just in the final sector here, trying to push more Ferraris into the top 10 and has certainly got the pace to do so. Let's see what kind of time he posts when he crosses the line. So far with a 24.6, shoves the other Ferrari almost wide there and forcing him off the lap. Coming across the line, P7 for Chris Bourne with a 24.1. Very strong. Very strong indeed. So quite close up at the front and lots of Ferraris. I'm going to have to do a poll at the end of this with the different drivers, especially in the interview as well. So I want to know how many of them are actually using the setup provided. Don't want to pat my back too much on this. Peter Wolfslaner coming across the line, no improvement this time. Couldn't quite get into the 22s, but can just establish the sort of dominance with a very similar lap time, which is once again almost 3 tenths quicker than any other car can post at the moment. A couple of other cars around the track. This is one of the few AMGs here up at the front. David Noble is sending it right onto the final sector here and pushing the Porsche out wide there, just a little bit in action. He saw that he is on the flying lap, and that flying lap will hopefully count for him since he's found quite a bit of pace. Now coming across the line, David Noble, currently 13th fastest, is probably going to jump a couple of positions. Let's see where he ends up. Coming across the line, Noble jumps to 12th position. Good improvement, about 1.4 seconds off the pace right now on the Ultima Racing AMG. So a bit further down the pack, let's have a look here. Peter de Jong, the Pink Pig, was doing quite well last time around Donington. Not quite at the pace yet. Best lap so far is a 25.7 in that number 23 Porsche here. Looking to find a little bit more time. And I would say that we're going to use one of the next opportunities here, maybe with Alessandro Diamante, who's already got a couple of tenths in the back as well. Let's keep on track here with Peter de Jong though, from the Netherlands, joining us here. And this very, very nice Porsche livery goes for a deep right and cuts the grass a bit too much. That's going to invalidate his lap, unfortunately. Have to go around once more to find the improvement he's looking for. So let's try and get a look here. Some of the cars about to cross the line. It's going to be maybe the one. Let's actually take a ride on board here with Peter de Jong and go through the track here. Jumping on in there. So Peter de Jong braking hard and heavy, a bit wider through the top of the hill here. That's going to be Druids for you. And then down into Graham's Hill Bend. Heavy braking zone. Bring the car inwards and keep it stable. Don't use too much runoff. Very slippery there on the exit if you don't get it right. Cooper straight and up into 30s. Try and spot the middle of the track and bring the car close to the apex. So you're running out to the outside using all the track there as much as possible. And now onto Pilgrim Stroke. Longest straight on the track right there just before the Hawthorne Bend. And we're trying to put that car in there about 4th gear. Trying to get as much speed in and peel it off as we're going through the turn out wide. Very nice usage of the track there. Derek Minister straight into Westfield and right on to the outside. Once again down into Sheens in just a second. And braking point just to the inside. Cut the curb a little bit. Once again far to the outside. That should just be in track limits. Now Sterling's 2nd gear. And once again all about the track limits as he's fighting the Porsche to find the pace that he's looking for. Clearways and now into Clark as the final turn of the track, as we're now looking to put on the power for the Brabham straight. Just what a lap that was. Very, very difficult. You could see it right on there. And Peter de Jong not quite with the improvement that time around, but very nice to have that right on board with him as we're getting this run over. Let me actually get the fade animation in. That's going to be a bit nicer for now. There we go. Lovely. Would you look at that? So, what have we missed? A couple of position gains, obviously, up at the front here. We still have your number 1 pole position setter here with 123.2. Currently enough for the temporary pole position where Peter Wolfslaner under 196 is looking to get himself set up well for this race here in the eSeniors GT3 Group 1. These are the strongest drivers in the eSeniors, and we definitely have some very strong competition up at the front. Lots of Ferraris this time, that's for sure. We didn't quite see that at Donington. 23.5, once again, great lap by him. Lars Eklund following there. You could see him in the background. Another Ferrari driver, maybe trying to look at the lines a little bit as Wolfsleiner finds 4 tenths right on after the first corners. Check in and have a crack at what Craig Holmes is about to do here. Got a little bit of pace in his back. Currently 12th position, looking to put the Bentley a little bit further up at the front. Very strong second sector for him this time. Coming across the line, and it's going to be improvement to P10, joining him, or just right on after Alistair Hughes, who's currently in 9th with the Bentley as well. About a second off the pace. Very respectable. And would you look how close this midfield here is. Noble, 1.398. And then very, very tight stuff until Baker here with a 1.788. So that's about 8 drivers right on there. And in just 3/10. It's very impressive stuff to see. And up here at the front as well, from Santos to Holmes, also just 3/10 with 5 drivers in that pack as well. Checking in once again here, Alistair Hughes has got a little bit of time in the back. Alon line number 16. Very nice livery, if you ask me, that is. 124.2 is the time to beat here, as he's using the slipstream of the Lamborghini of Nifosi. Right on the head. Nice braking. It's a little bit deep there. Gets the wheels onto the sand. Let's see if he's able to carry any sort of extra momentum through there. Remains P9 with a minor improvement, but just shy of Bourne's time in the 118. It's going to be biting his nails right after that. Definitely pushing. So, 4 guys, you already say it. Nikos Margaritas got it right. 4 guys in the 23s already. Definitely. Definitely super close stuff here up at the front. And just overall, the track is in a perfect state. But regardless, managing to squeeze out a 23 in quali in just this little time, it's quite impressive to say the least. Want to check in here with Peter Wolfsleiner, though. You see him riding off into the sunset here. With the lead lap number 196 Ferrari. He's currently up 4/10, looking to bring that home. That would be the 22 that he's probably looking to supply in the qualification here. Very nice and deep braking. Look how much of the track is being used at that point in time. Now down into the final turn. It's going to be one hell of a lap if he can bring it around. Just the final corner, Clark curve to carry around. Not quite as wide as he wanted to. He's still up quite a bit. Let's see it. Coming across the line. Peter Wolfsleiner sets 122.9. He cracks into the 22s. Are you kidding me? That's nuts. That's absolutely nutty pace. Andrea Caiola, in the meantime, don't want to downplay that, is able to squeeze into a mega pack of Ferraris here up at the front. Would you have a look? He's splitting. He's sandwiching himself into an absolutely enormous amount of Ferraris here up at the front. So with the 23.562, last lap being his fastest in this session, he's able to net himself second position just ahead of Lars Eklund, who will be swearing in Swedish because that puts him down into third for now. So second row of the grid. And third, it's almost a full lockout from the Ferrari lads here up at the front. It's quite interesting to see. And a couple of cars up on time here as well. Alistair Hughes, following him in the TV1 camera here, up into the second sector. And it's very difficult to get this run right. Even if he's up 3/10, that doesn't mean he can carry across the line. Trying to use as much of the track as possible. A little bit shy there. There's probably another 10th there. It's what my coaching eye says, but it's very, very strong stuff from him. Still Alistair Hughes here. Now, with just 2 turns to clear, he's got to spot just one more braking zone right after this one. It's done beautifully so far. 3/10 is the delta he's looking to carry across the line, and just right on there, Alistair Hughes currently 9th. Let's see where he ends up when he crumps across the line. Finds another 10th right on there. 5/10 up, and that's enough for P4. Beautiful stuff. A 23.6 by Alistair Hughes. Just at the end of the main qualifying part, I think, where 10 minutes means a lot of the drivers are going to be coming back in patches. and only then thinking if they really want to continue pushing on, because extracting time after 15 minutes is quite difficult, I would say. Checking in here briefly, Peter de Jong, the Pink Pig, also up on the timing sheets as well. Currently finding 2:10s. Tony Whitten in the RSA number 55, currently 19th. Also up on pace a little bit. One of the few Ferraris you could say. No, I'm obviously kidding. There's a whole bunch of them, isn't there? So Peter de Jong now. Ryan on final. Crawford is there. Clark turns, sorry. Clark curves the final turn of the track as he's coming across the line, looking to improve. Currently 23rd and will stay there. Not quite enough to run Mark Pocock out of the 22nd position, or 11th row on the grid, that is. So he'll continue trying, find that little bit of pace here. One more driver who's up on time into this, the end of the first sector, right on there, going down into Pilgrim's Drop. Then Hawthorne Band is the 555 Ferrari, driven by KB Smith here from the US, joining us here with a very displayable lap time. Last time round, he didn't quite get his personal best of 24.0 as he goes very wide there. That's definitely going to invalidate the lap. Gotta really watch out for that when we're coming onto the race, because it's super easy to go out wide in the second sector. Very characteristic for these British tracks here. Mers Paunov is finding some time here as well. 24.5 is a personal improvement and actually goes just as fast as Krista Hirt here, who is the 823 Ferrari, who still stays 12th position, but a nice improvement. Number 69 car draws 13th fastest here so far. It's a 24.5, nice improvement here. I think we saw Bywater, that is. Yeah, Bywater improving to a 24.3. That's enough for 11th position. So these final sets of tires, it certainly bring a bit of an element to surprise. Drivers finding more and more lap time around here. Just trying to push the track to its absolute limits. You can see it here to the exit. Doesn't quite use all of it. So I'm sure there's just a little bit more time out there on the track if you're looking to find it. So with a few cars already back to the pit lane, this is going to be the lowest amount of fuel you're going to be seeing them at any point tonight, I reckon. Because these drivers are probably putting in, say, 10 liters or so, riding back out on track, and maybe 15 at most, really, at this point in time of qualification, and just really pushing the car to its absolute maximum. I do wonder if some of these cars have a set of qualification setup. It's what I'll be interested in. Maybe I'll get the chance to talk to some of the drivers in a top 3 interview. So be excited and prepared for that one at the end of the broadcast. First time in the eSeniors that we're doing a post-race interview with some of the top drivers here. I'm very excited for that. So some crazy good times right around here. Neil Bywater coming across the line. Not quite the improvement. About a 10th short of his personal best, and I do have to agree once again with Nikos here. Wolf is out of the galaxy. Amazing. I hope he will not harm our little planet. Yeah, it's a very nice way to paraphrase. He's definitely sort of the alien out here, considering that he's about 6/10ths quicker than any other car right now. But we do see that Kayola here is currently going into the first sector here and up into Druids in the FG Racing. He was able to beat him last time around on Donington, and not just by accident. That was on pace alone, where the Italian driver in the 67 here was able to put on a show and definitely get us a little glimpse of what could happen on certain tracks. Quickly following up here, Mers Parnov up into Crawford for the final corner of the track. Currently 14th fastest. We already had him in the picture a little bit earlier. Coming across the line. Very nice improvement. It's going to be a 6th place. Wow. Wow. Big step forwards. Very nice. Also briefly missed how Alistair Hughes was able to set a 23.6. So he joins the 23 club here. There's a couple of drivers out there up to P7. So if you are below a 24, that would be right now enough to net you at least the 7th position at the moment. So going back a couple of cars here, second sector for Craig Holmes in the Saint Osyna Bentley. The 109 is trying to jump into the top 10. Doesn't need to improve by much. But it's tough to carry the time into the final sector because the braking zones are quite precise, and with right inside drive, very easy to miss out a little bit on the track. Can't improve this time around, and it's gonna come across the line with what I would reckon is a 24.8. Yeah, almost exactly on the dot there. 24.876 for him this time around, jumping into the Porsche here, following along with the number 71 West Coast Porsche, driven by Jonathan Wood, currently about a tenth or two up. Lost a little bit of time as we're jumping right around 30s here. I see the car bouncing quite a bit with the low ride height. It's exactly what I want to get, because the lower the ride height, the more downforce you're going to be getting. So very crucial part of this track is going to be downforce, which is also the reason why lots of the rear left tires, because there's so many right-hand turns, are going to be absolutely fuming and burning up in no time. So that's a very interesting element, I would say, during this race, as we're going right around Sheens, now into Sterling's up next, following Jonathan Wood here in the Porsche number 71. See what kind of pace he can bring across the line. Currently down a 10th, can maybe find a little something into the final turn here. And up and around, looks like there's not going to be improvement this time. However, Cayola is also right on around the corner. Let's see what he can do. Currently second place, is able to improve 23.4. Very nice lap time, very respectable but in itself, but it's just not close enough, because Peter Wolfslaner is on another level and has demonstrated so all around through qualification. So very strong stuff here from Hughes and Cayola, breaking into this Ferrari barrier and kind of splitting them apart, picking them apart really. 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in this qualifying session. I would have to say that I'm quite impressed with the amount of drivers being able to go into the 23s here, that's for sure. It's big respect to all of those, and just so many drivers in the 24s as well, 25s and 26s. So there's just no way you can say that these guys haven't put in the work, haven't put in the practice. They're definitely putting on a show for us here tonight at Brands Hatch. We did, I think, see... hold on, let me quickly check on right there, because that was actually Piers Markov. It might have been that Craig Holmes jumped a couple of positions. No, I think I must be mistaken there. Just trying to follow along, who's currently up on time a little bit. Tony Witten is so down into Pilgrim's Drop, just as Eric Dont from Belgium also is. Where's the number 963 on the track? Just a little bit behind him. So we're gonna stay right on here. Tony Witten, and quickly go actually on board once again and try and see what the third sector is bringing to the Ferrari in terms of trouble. Let's jump on over there. Get this onboard rolling for you. Bit slided there, currently up 4/10s, and the driver's hands must be shaking a little bit, trying to bring this pace across the line. Nice and late braking now out to the outside, using all the track. Beautiful done there by Tony Witten, coming across the line so much up. Holy moly, moly mackerel, he goes 13th fastest with so little time in the session to spare. What a great lap by Tony Witten there. Wow, very, very impressive stuff, I have to say. Let's get this right up for you. So if you are wondering and tuning in a little bit late, Brands Hatch in the eSeniors GT3, it's Group 1. It's the fastest drivers of the community, and if you're interested, make sure you check out their Discord as well. Quick follow up here, Mark Pocock, also in the TRG racing, is trying to get out of the top 20 here, has 3/10 in the back. That could be very promising for him. He's going to come across the line. Will he improve? He does so to exactly P20, number 13 driver, and it looks like qualification is going to be over for him. Cayola following along, did come across the line. Flying laps will count here, so he's got one final opportunity to improve. Currently second fastest, and that position seems basically guaranteed, as Alistair Hughes and Smith are both down on time. So chances are he's going to finish second, unless he's able to somehow magically find 5/10s here. Right around, quick check-in with Neil Bywater, who's up on his time in the number 38 Porsche here. One of the few cars who are still out on track And coming across the line, he actually will not improve. Gets to the kitty litter. And once that catches the front tires, it's going to be game over. It's Derek Bird, one of the few cars out there. The DBK 701. Currently not up by much. But with the 24.6, he's definitely hoping to improve a little bit on that 19th position he finds himself right now. Nice wide run through Crawford there. As we're coming across the line, not quite. 24.567. That's 3 positions improved. So great stuff there from Derek Bird with 1 seconds of the pace where he finds himself right now. Quick check-in, final car right on the track, coming across the line. No improvement for Kayola, so that settles it. Mega times you see it. Chris Byrne with the right to definitely congratulate these top runners here, and we're gonna jump right on to the holding screen for you to have a quick look. So, Brands Hatch qualifying. If you are enjoying yourself so far, it would be awesome to get a little bit of feedback here in the chat. I have it open on my second screen, and I'm having a look, see if the stream is up to your standards. Hope you're doing all right tonight, lads. It's been an absolute pleasure commentating this so far. Very strong stuff by the drivers, I have to say. It's absolutely great what they're able to pull off here so far. So I'm trying to get everything set up for us so we can have a little bit of a grid walk here in the eSeniors GT3. Round number 4, it's Brands Hatch here tonight, where Wolfslina has managed to snag himself pole position. So let's jump on over here and try and get the drivers right. So with qualifying concluded, what are we seeing here on the track? It's Peter Wolfslina in position 1, very dominating stuff during qualifying in the number 96 Ferrari. Then joining him in the first row is Andrea Caiola, who was able to beat him last time around in Donington. Looking forward to the fight that these two lads will be putting up. Second row of the grid belongs to Lars Eklund and Alistair Hughes. It's the first Bentley on the grid, number 16 there. Then third row, it's going to be the third Ferrari. It's the 555, driven by KB Smith. Then second Aston on the grid, Paunov, Merce Paunov that is, in their number 69 Aston. Then third row, 177 and, it's actually the fourth row, 177 and 51 of Alessandro Diamante. Then first Porsche on the grid is going to be Carlo van Brabant with Chris Braun here, right on around there. Then 11th place goes to Craig Holmes from Great Britain, next to Eric Dont from Belgium in that 963 Ferrari. So lots of Ferraris. We already saw it last time, where Tony Whitten from RSA is in position 13 next to Neil Bywater, who we just flew past. And with 30 seconds on the grid, let's just try and get everybody in right on there. 823 of Heard, then Bird. Then it's going to be Wood and Nifosi, where Noble and Pocock, you see them there in the background. That's the AMG and the Ferrari are going to be your top 20. And we have to get ready for the race session, unfortunately. So it's jumping back to the front of the grid, where we are hoping to see an exciting race start for you to broadcast around here. So my name is Niklas Kraus, Mr. Pig 100. You can find me online. I do live broadcasts as well as some coaching content if you're interested. I hope you're going to have a beautiful time watching this race, joining us here in the SimSport, brought to you by SimSport Solutions. There's wonderful broadcast tonight of the eSeniors GT3. Round number 4, Brands Hatch, Peter Wolfslina. Let's see how it goes down once the lights are going to go green. Everybody warming up. Let's just give a little amount of silence. So we're going green here. 45 minutes of race action. Wolfslina gets a fantastic start here. Already able to pull away quite smoothly. He's jumped to the helicam. Let's have a look at this. So far, so clean. Very nice stuff. Let's see how turn 2 pans out. Very nice stuff there as well. Opening up the door, Alistair Hughes. Very respectful driving there by everybody. Too wide as the Lamborghini of Nifosi gets shoved a little wide there. So far, so good. Little bit of contact, but nothing major I could see so far. Checking down in the grid where Terry Trowbridge in the ENG has been able to gain a couple of positions in that Aston Martin number 97. But we have to keep up with the front of the pack where we have an absolute nice, beautiful overtaking opportunity here to the inside. Looking around, trying to get past the 555 here of KB Smith, this Miss Pownell. That's the Aston Martin center of screen right there as the track starts to receive the first cars in the 45 minutes here. Field starting to pan out just a little bit, but it's quite close here in the background. We see Jonathan Wood very closely chasing the second half here off the grid, currently 17th position, as we do see Nifosi jumping to the inside there. What a move, and he does send himself a little bit sideways. That's going to benefit Jonathan Wood here as he takes that position. Very well done here. Up at the front we also have Diamante right on there. That's the Ferrari number 51 center of screen, and the fight for position number 9 with a couple of cars behind him already. See, field is starting to spread out very quickly here, I would say. Not too much fighting, as I did predict. Qualification pace is really what matters quite a lot. A little bit of a send attempt there, definitely not in range for Chris Bourne, who just shows himself in the mirrors of Alessandro Diamante here. So that's one of the closest pack around here. David Noble also under a little bit of pressure from Chris Baker there in the background. That's the Aston Martin number 10 you're seeing on the left side of your screen right on there. So big pack here forming around position number 9. Going back around there in just a second, trying to have a look. See if there's a little bit of action because Chris Bourne is forced to defend. There is a tap in the rear there, and that's going to send both him and Holmes, who was the start of that incident, sideways. So he's going to be dropping back about 10 positions, I reckon. Very unfortunate stuff there. He's also sent a little bit sideways there. Tony Whitten here is in the Ferrari number 55 center of screen for you. So we are following him into the final turns of the track. So a little bit of contact there. The second sector is not really an opportunity for anyone to overtake, really. So it's a bit surprising to see one of the most experienced, more experienced drivers on the track in the Bentley there sending it on him. So he'll have to do a bit of a recovery drive and bite himself in the arse at the end of this race, because that was definitely on him, trying to go for that way. He was defending quite nicely. Door was already shut, in my opinion, but that's something that the stewards will have to take a look if at all. So that's not really up for me to judge. David Noble might judge what Giovanni Nifosi is doing right in front of him here. Let's jump on board here and in just a second get onto the dash view and see how close this is. Everybody around him is doing some very decent lap times in 1:26 at the start of the race. We are hopping on there into the onboard. Let's have a look. Just a brief moment. How close this is. That's a very nice and wide camera. Actually going to third gear here in the Lambo as he's chasing down Jonathan Wood. That's the Porsche ahead of him. Trying to use all the track, and now this is one of the most crucial turns of the track. That is the right-hand King Sheens, that is. Very easy to get yourself to the outside there. Very slippery for the Lambo driver, that is. For just a moment he loses traction, but is able to regain that very nicely. Wolfslaner, sorry, I thought there was actually an overtake happening there, right around him, because the gap narrowed down so much. Is there somebody dropping back on the grid? No, I think I must be mistaken. I'm trying to follow everything as things are coming or falling into play. We obviously had the two incidents happening earlier. We had the incident involving Craig Holmes and the Ferrari here. A little bit of the back of the pack. I think that must have been Chris Bourne. Yeah, Chris Bourne in the Exile 118. He's trying to do a recovery drive now, sending it to the inside there of Dont. Is he going to make it stick? Very nicely so. And that's going to be the move done as he's rowing up the field here in the Ferrari a little bit undercover as he's actually forced around the outside. Let's see if he can get the cutback to happen. Doesn't seem like it, where Eric Don in the car ahead also qualified 12th position and has fallen back. So those two are hopefully trying to push each other to the point where they're just driving through the field. So these three Ferraris trying to make the miracle happen. Up at the front, not too much action, only cars which are really close are obviously these two, where they're looking to chase down the pack, and then also Chris Baker here in the Rotec Racing number 10, who's being chased by Terry Trowbridge there. Trowbridge, that is, from England. That's one of the tighter groups, one of the tighter packs. Right around here we do... Hold on. So there's somebody dropping back in the grid as well. Sorry if I'm jumping a little bit. I'm just trying to get the action right without jumping too much around the track. So Rogerio Santos had a bit of a run, I think, on Paunov in the Aston Martin ahead. So chances are he'll look to extend that as well. Fastest laps of the race coming from the front of the pack, 24.0. Very strong race pace up at the front. Peter Wolfslehner with the fastest lap of the race so far. Let's see where this leads us. Rogerio Santos looking to the inside. Doesn't quite have the straight line speed to go for a move here, but he'll have the downforce to make something happen in the second sector here, perhaps. Very nice and wide lines by both of these drivers. Van Brabant in the background following neatly there too, using all of the track. Look at that. That's some beautiful footage for you to see as they're chasing each other. Just about 3 tenths separating each of these drivers here as they're heading into the final turn of the track. That's going to be the Clark curve. Right into third gear where they're looking to spot the apex just right on and coming across the line. Trying to set some nice lap times. Let's see what the pace is. 25.2 last lap for Rogerio Santos, which makes him the fastest, the second fastest car in the group. To the inside for just a moment. He'll think better of it, which gives the Porsche the absolute opportunity to close up to the group. So these three definitely caught in the middle of it a little bit. Just quickly checking in here with Noble, who's currently under fire. Nifosi making up one more position to the inside. The Lambo pilot goes, and a well-executed move. Ultima Racing driver Ultimate Racing driver David Noble losing the position here to Nifosi, who jumps up into 14th. What a move that was. Quite an impressive feat. Don't want to miss out on the action here though. Obviously, just capturing that overtake here. We see Mers Paunov in that number 69. Let's go to the rear view camera here. Have a look at this. So they're chasing each other into the final sector. A little bit more of the track being used by the Ferrari driver there. Paunov now planting the foot for this little bit of a straight here as we are once again up into the final corner. Laps are going by so quickly with a race pace of about 124. Obviously, Peter Wolfslehner on a different level, setting the new fastest lap of the session, which is 123.652 as race pace. That's just insane, really. If you think about it, like that was quicker than almost 2/3 of the grid and qualification pace alone. And he's put in fuel to drive 45 minutes here, which makes it all the more impressive feat. So in this fight here, not too much of a development. I want to check in with Chris Baker, who is currently struggling a little bit through turn 3. Now is being overtaken by Terry Trowbridge, who uses the opportunity of this slidey Rotec number 10 to get the move done that time around. So very clean stuff there. Realizes he lost the traction and gives up the position, which is the right thing to do at that point. Want to quickly check in here with the chase of Lars Eklund, whose last lap was 124.2, which is the fastest for him personally, with a decent second sector and a fast first sector around here, who's currently being chased by Alistair Hughes, who also started in 4th position. And not too many changes here up at the front. So if I'm reading this out correctly on my end, on my data sheet, Peter Woslehner, Andrea Caiola in second, then Lars Eklund, Alistair Hughes is at fourth, KB Smith currently fifth position, just as Ms. Paunov is sixth place right now, Rogero Santos in seventh, and what's even more impressive about this order is it's exactly the order that they qualified in. Don't want to miss right on around here, David Noble, who got very close here. You saw it in the background. There's another fight, another battle here, which is for position number 17 here, where Jord is chasing with Holmes to follow along. That is Craig Holmes in the number 12 Bentley. Oh, it's actually the number 109 Bentley. Sorry, got that mixed up with Dimitri Khan-Statis there, who originally started 23rd and now finds himself in 21st. So that Bentley, that's Craig Holmes, who was involved. If you weren't watching by then and joined us a little bit late here, he was actually involved in a very early race incident with driver Mark Pocock, who no, actually with Eric Dont, sorry about that, from Belgium, as we see Nifosi in the Lambo a little bit wide there. Craig Holmes getting around the outside there of the Ferrari for just a brief moment, side by side. Looks like he's not the one chasing, but the one being chased for a brief moment there, as he's now looking to close the gap to the cars ahead. So Craig Holmes up another place here, so I'm currently setting this a little bit. So, too wide then. Wow, okay, let's see what happens here. Nifosi will have to cover the inside. He gets the better line. Now, chances are he's not going to get the best exit, so De Jong actually might have the opportunity here. Nifosi dropping back then to 18th place, where De Jong takes 17th, chasing each other into turn 1. Very tight stuff. Let's look at the line on the exit. Very respectable traction there from the Porsche, so definitely forced to dive a little bit outward as he loses the optimum line there on the Lambo. Nifosi is coming under fire here. Craig Holmes with the 109 looking for the better exit down into turn 5 here, and now up into what is Surtees. He's not quite in the range to strike yet, but will hope to do so. Down Pilgrim's Drop, the Bentley definitely having a lot of engine power to make something happen if he gets a decent run. Now, next corner is going to be Hawthorne Bend, where he's looking to potentially send it to the inside. No, he does not. So that time he makes the reasonable choice not to go for a move through there, is forced to continue staying behind him a little bit, as we're seeing P12 Bird, there it is, under massive fire as well. Don't want to miss when a move happens there. Yeah, Bird already got the move done on Wood there. Could jump back in the replay, but I'm sure that must have been a nice move there. Yeah, it looks like Wood actually dropped another position and finds himself only in 13th now. So we did just briefly miss how. Yeah, we gotta have a little replay. Let me get this set up for you. Okay, hold on there. Let me get this right. Let me jump to the replay here. Give me 60 seconds with a 60-second, with a 40-second duration. Get a replay on in. That did not quite work. Okay. Oh yeah, so we see there Eklund gets the move because Caiola must have gone wide there at the end of turn 1. So that's exactly what happened. So Caiola now a little bit back, finds himself in position number 3, where Lars Eklund says thank you very much. So this is the replay. Couldn't quite get it with the animation in, it looks like. I thought I had that right. But that's just the way it is. So replay ending in just 1 second. So I'll try and figure this out for the next one so we get that nice fancy little animation here. Near Bywater. Oh, that's actually just people running by the pit lane, so that's what's got me confused a little bit. Trying to spot some of the action around the track for you. Obviously, we still have this fight here where Giovanni Nifosi from Italy in that number 63 Lamborghini has a very angry Craig Holmes behind him. He's looking to make something happen after a bunched up start here for him. Santos in the fight for P7, also very close. Jump right on over there. Did I already miss that? Yeah, Rogero Santos already passed Carlo Van Brabant. Jeez. Just can't get the name right, can I? And there's contact with the Ferrari of Alessandro Diamante. I think that was maybe a tap in the rear right there by Bywater. But chances are that's just a little racing incident there. These guys are definitely pushing the tires, and about 15 minutes into the race now. If you have been enjoying it, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Support your local eSeniors a little bit. Be lovely to see that. We have them providing you through SimSports with such an amazing broadcast to be able to watch these amazing drivers go around the track. Brands Hatch there, that's round 4 for you. And Wolfslehner is leading just massively. Obviously we had the mistake by Coyola, which definitely widened the gap as Lars Eklund is now the one to chase. But once again, last lap at 24.3, and that's 6/10 quicker than Eklund. And just really strong stuff by the number 196 driver. The only thing I would be concerned of, the only enemy to him is himself at this point, with an almost 7-second lead ahead of everybody else. So very strong stuff here, as he's looking to set potentially another low 24, if not another 23 around here. So Lars Eklund in second. Then it's going to be Andrea Caiola after the little bit of a mistake, hoping to push past here. Seems to be the faster car off the top. The battle for P2 here. Alistair Hughes. Actually, I could bring the graphic up, but I don't quite have it ready to compare the sector times. I'll actually just do this for myself and have a look. So last time around, Andrea Caiola is just about the same as fast, 24.0 for Caiola, and Eklund with a 24.5, where almost all of that time was gained in the final sector, 4/10 quicker in the final sector here, Caiola. So chances are, with a 5/10 of a gap that he's faced with right now, he'll have to try and get something done in the final sector, which can be very tricky. So he'll just try to hold on through the aero loss, which is the first and second sector, try to set himself up for a nice run out of the final turn, and hopefully get the move done for him and get the position back, which he so desperately wants. Neil Bywater might have a decent run here, is getting to the back of Alessandro Diamante, using all of the track there and a little bit more. How about that? 38 going for a detour just in the middle of the corner there, middle of 30s. Goes for a little quick lunch break in that Porsche number 38. Finds himself a little further down the road, trying to chase that position number 9 ahead of him. So far, so great. We have seen, we have rather missed a couple of moves here by Craig Holmes, and also I think what is supposedly the disconnection of the Lamborghini driver. Very unfortunate to see that. That's gonna put him out of the race for now. It's quite unsightly, really, because he had such a good run until then. Must have been some either disconnection or other issue, I hope, because it's not really fair play to just be disconnecting like that if the race isn't gonna go your way. Regardless of that, we have a couple of drivers who are definitely in the range to strike. So let's bring back with the action and not moan over those who have fallen, so to say. For example, Lars Eklund. And with this run here of Andrea Caiola, I want to quickly present to you the difference in speed here in this final sector, jumping to the onboard view, where we're going to be going right on into the cockpit here with Andrea Caiola, who's chasing for position number 2. Let's actually get this one up for you. Right, you look at the braking point, how deep that is, able to just spot the apex and immediately onto full throttle. Look at that, that's exactly what you want to do in the final turn. Right on there, such a great drive there. into the to the first turn here. A little bit wide, I would say, but not quite as wide as right on there. Lars Eklund went into first for Druids, which is you could imagine that that's actually a name quite frequently used in the British tracks, just like Silverstone does have a Druids corner to itself as well. Let's bring this back on up. Jump into third person once again. Get these nice TV shots for you to watch as we're bringing back up the broadcasting tab. Don't think there's been too many position changes in the meantime. We did see Rogerio Santos get past Mirs Paunov, currently now 6th position, and obviously Tony Whitten must have had something happen to him, because that Haybarn Racing number 55 has dropped back 5 positions since the last time we checked, finds himself in 16th, so there must have been some sort of mistake here. But regardless of that, we're gonna keep the eyes peeled, see what he can do. Right now, last lap for him was 1:27.7, so there must have been some sort of mistake there, losing him about 2 seconds compared to what his personal best is. And also up 4 tenths now, so he's looking to chase a little bit. We're checking in with Caiola. Oh no, that's just the pit lane baiting me. Sorry about that. We actually have the fight though with Carlo Van Brabant. Hope I got that right this time, where Mirs Paunov is under heavy fire there. Number 4, Team West Coast Wankers sends it to the outside of turn 1. Runs out of track space there almost. He brings it back around and to the outside, into the kitty litter a little bit for the Aston, as he's forced to drive quite defensively there. Sticks to the inside line and gets a decent run out of there. But the question is, how long can Paunov hold on in that 69? Because Carlo Van Brabant looks to be the quicker driver at the moment. Fastest laps don't really show much of a difference there, but it looks like either one of them has overcooked the tires or Carlo is just on an absolute flyer right now. Man on a mission at the moment, where Neil Bywater also finding some sign there's a Ferrari in the wall. That must be Alessandro Diamante, who finds himself off course in the Corse. Let's go back 30 seconds and have a look at that. So here we see him. This is actually the replay. So I'm trying to fix this. I just wanted to get everything running ASAP. So I think if I do this, it's going to work just fine. Yeah, he's defensive right on through there. Now to the outside with a little bit of a cutback attempt, but that's, yeah, I think that was actually Bywater there. Very unfortunate. That is the replay. That's the animation I was hoping to show you, and then going back into the live picture. Sorry about that. I got to get that one figured out still. While I'm just in my second broadcast for you guys. I hope you are still enjoying it. Get that quality racing content for you on your Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening, depending on where you are watching us at the moment. Hope you are enjoying yourself just as much as I am. Sit back and relax, because we've got 20 more minutes of exciting racing for you. And for the first time in the eSeniors GT3 League, some driver interviews. In the end, getting some insights from the lads who've been providing us with section here right around. So Carlo Van Brabant also still in the same position, where he's quite close. Same story goes for the fight for P2 here up at the front, where Eklund and Caiola having a bit of a battle here. About the same pace for the drivers, where Caiola is gaining just ever so slightly. Don't want to miss that to the third sector. These two are going. Number 4 chasing the number 69 here. I want to just quickly have a look with Caiola here in a second what happens. Into turn 1. Not quite in striking range this time. Not quite there. He's still close. He's looking. And he's definitely waiting for Eklund to make a mistake. But considering how Wolfslaner is driving away, with 24.7 being the last time that he's squeezed out of the track on the final lap, on his previous lap, I would say that that's just really no way for them to catch up at this point in time. Because 20 minutes and 10 seconds means they would have to catch by at least half a second, if not up to a full second per lap. And that's just not within the pace that they're going. And definitely not in the pace that Wolfslaner is able to bring out to the track. right now. So I think we just saw how Van Brabant... Yeah, let's go back 10 seconds, have a quick look at that. Yeah, that's the mistake. That's exactly what he was waiting for. So the Porsche pilot getting past Paunov there and pouncing onto 7th place as the Aston getting very slidey all over. So yeah, that's exactly the sort of driving where eventually the tires are going to overcook for some of these cars, and the Aston, comparatively to the Porsche, being a little bit on the heavy S side, heavy R side, that's for sure. Quick check in here with P14, don't want to miss a move here if something's happening around David Noble and the Ultima Racing. That's the AMG caught in the middle in the Aston sandwich. It's going to be Baker and Trowbridge from up front and behind, where they're chasing now into the final sector. Just 2 more corners to clear, and now with the heavy braking zone there, where the number 2 car almost gets a little bit of rear end action there from Baker, and the number 10 getting very close but keeping it professional. Very nice to see. Holmes once again with another position gain. You see him now up into 16th. We are approaching the 18-minute mark. Caiola also very close. So much action happening around the track. Chances are we're going to have to go and watch back a replay here or there. So with a quick update here, Diamante was dropped into 12th position there. Originally started 8th and found himself in P9 for the majority of the race. Then after the little bit of contact earlier, or a little bit of a slip and slide, depends how you want to see that, to the inside just for a brief moment. Noble there, he's finding himself in 12th position, so dropping back a little bit, but he can still be happy. And once again, a very slidey Aston. That's an easy overtake. Noble round the outside, but the question is, can he make it stick? Because the inside line is the place to be. He gets the car ahead and well clear, so long as he can keep the traction around there, which he does so absolutely perfectly. David Noble moving up a position here, and that means Trowbridge will be on the Sorrow end there in 14th now, with Baker right on behind him. He's looking to present him with no opportunities with the remaining 17 minutes here in the race for an overtake. And by the looks of it, Caiola, 1.3 seconds, you see it there, for those of you watching very cautiously, as the delta between him and Lars Eklund in 2nd position. So either through the mistake or just the factory default of the Aston Martin, it seems that 30 minutes into the race they're just starting to get very squirrely all over the place and dropping some pace and certainly some positions in the process there as well. Craig Holmes is the car that we're currently following, the number 109 Saint Sinner Bentley that is. So let's head on board here with the beautiful lad. To the onboard cam we go, and jump to the dash as we are chasing this group of 4. Very close fighting and very beautiful stuff to see. For those of you who have tuned in a little bit late, Holmes originally started in 11th place, fell back to 19th at some point, and now crawling back the grid has managed to find 3 places for him so far, and definitely on a good pace. But with the fact that he has some frontal aero damage due to the contact earlier with a Ferrari of I think Poco that was. I think that was Poco. Or was it Dont? Might have been Dont. Yeah, chances are it was actually with Dont. I gotta get that right. 963 there, currently in 22nd position. Yeah, with that front aero damage, he's not quite there, because front aero is quite important. Want to get that turn in for a lot of these corners, and if you don't quite get that, you're going to be in a bit of trouble. So we're chasing very closely here. Baker might be in a bit of trouble. To the inside he sends it. Let's see if he sticks with the move. Is being given lots of room. Craig Holmes now with a decent run as well, up into what is essentially the tightest turn on the track. Jumping to the helicams, he makes it happen. Craig Holmes moves up into 15th. Wow. Very, very clean. Very well driven as well. He's got the room, and with Baker leaving so much space, that's just clear. Baker is going to be dropping to 15th if he leaves that much room. It's very sportsmanlike, and I do appreciate it. So hats off to both of them for doing so in this beautiful fight there. car we're following right now, Lars Eklund, is also getting under trouble once again. After we saw a little bit of a 1.5 second gap, that is absolutely diminished in just the last couple of laps here. If I'm bringing this up on my data, let's have a look. He's losing in every single sector. 1/10 in the first sector, 1.5 in the second, and once more almost 2/10 in the third sector on their last lap round. Lars Eklund is dropping pace to Caiola, who's hoping to bring home 37 points to the collection. That's Andrea Caiola in the background there from Italy in the number 67 Aston Martin. Quickly want to check in here with the fight for position number 8 before we miss any sort of overtakes here, where Neil Bywater might have a good run on Paunov, Mirs Paunov that is, currently in the fight for position number 8. Very close stop here, up at the front of the grid, still very competitive, 30 minutes in, and by the looks of it, he's one of the few Aston Martins, and as well as Andrea Caiola, who's been spared with the tire issues that we've been seeing throughout some of the grid. Coming across the line, Wolfslehner 24.9, not quite the fastest car on the grid at the moment. Chances are he's realized the gap, and the fact as well that he is able to just be a little bit of lenient with his own pace to make it stick. Oh, not quite making it stick there. Rounds out of track. Paunov is forced onto a different line there for sure. Neil Bywater does the same thing, just one corner after, so no opportunity for him that time around. See, had the opportunity from the Aston ahead, just couldn't quite seize it, with the fact he was so surprised by the mistake of Mirs Paunov there, just quickly slotting back to the outside line in surprise and not able to follow up with a position gain for himself. We keep an eye out on this battle now onto the main straight of the track. It's going to be down up into Hawthorne Bend now in just a second, where Lars Eklund is still leading in these fight for P2 in the Leckland 696. Very, very strong stuff by both of these drivers. It's quite impressive to see them keep up this sort of pace. 24.7 is the place to be at the moment in terms of the pace, and looks like Eklund is continuously using all of this track to just hold on to it for now. And they're a little bit of a loop, really. I'm having a look around my track map right now. They're the only cars really that don't have to deal with much traffic at all. The number 196 leading Peter Wolfslehner is actually finding himself in a bit of traffic jam. Lars Eklund going way too wide, completely misses turn 1, and essentially that's the move that brings him down into third spot. And Andrea Caiola says thank you very much, takes second place, and is hoping to make a run with it. Now on to the action. Looks like this is exactly the lap where everything is bound to be happening. Neil Bywater, oh, that's going to be a big one to the outside. Bywater demolishing the... let's go back 30 seconds and have another look together. That's the retirement of Neil Bywater. How unfortunate was that with the beautiful run there onto Paunov. Such a great opportunity. Let's jump on board and have a look with Porsche. What happens here is where the mirror is a little bit different. That's what you're currently seeing at the moment. Quite interesting. To the outside he goes, and there's very little room on the outside here. Very little grip, as well as the two cars actually close up into each other, and that's big contact there for the Porsche. Steering is completely bonked, and that's the race over for Bywater. Very unfortunate stuff there. Only 30 minutes in, that's the retirement. It's going to be sending him way back down the grid, and essentially ending in a DNF after being so close to Mirs Paunov there. The two cars almost hooking up with each other there, just not letting go at all, like a lover's embrace, but of the bad kind, seeing him in the wall in the end. Tragic stuff. 35 minutes into the race. Now he's forced to deal with another Porsche. That actually is Derek Bird. That's the 701 in the background there, chasing him now. Let's hope this one goes better. So there was little room. They tried to go to the outside, but the problem is it's banked in such a way that naturally the cars flow to the outside as well. So if there's already a car there, you got to be extra cautious and trying to be super polite with leaving room on the outside, considering that it's also the better run to be on the inside for turn 3 here. So that Druids. That's the corner that they're currently driving. Ah, very rough there, very rough there. Parnov giving up the position after apparently having some issues with the traction through there. It's quite apparent. I would say Graham here bent and was the corner where that happened. So yeah, most Parnov eventually dropping back to 9th, but not without a price here. I want to check in with Terry Trowbridge, who had to let go of Craig Holmes, who's doing a super job recovering here, currently in 13th. And once again, the reminder that he started 6 positions, well, he was 6 positions back at some point. It looks like Eklund. No, sorry about that. Eklund actually not in trouble. Eklund doing just mighty fine on the pace. Is just a little bit down here. Currently still in 3rd after having to concede the position to Andrea Caiola after a mistake into turn 1. So chances are, once again, that the tires are coming off for a lot of these drivers who have been pushing the pace. And one of those drivers is Terry Trowbridge, who dropped back a couple of positions after a mistake. So he was 13th just a hot minute ago, but finds himself in P14 at the moment. Not too much of a hassle for him, just dropping about 5-6 seconds after a bit of a mistake. So that's probably going to be one of the key components where you see the top drivers succeeding, is just finding traction all through the race and maintaining a solid pace, because once you're pushing it over the limits, you're going to be losing so much time. It's not really a street circuit at all in that sense. There's so much runoff. But in that kitty litter runoff, you're going to find yourself in a lot of trouble because there's absolutely no traction there whatsoever. So if you are stuck, it's going to be you losing a position, or if you're losing traction, then more importantly, losing grip of the car. And it's not very easy to get a nice rejoin here without losing that much time. Now, up until here, we've not been riding with the beautiful Brands Hatch GT3 and the eSeniors GT3 display. There you go. Now that looks a little bit more complete. So we're heading into the final 7 minutes of the race. Hope you are enjoying yourself in this broadcast. But yeah, we have some great battles on our hands so far. It's been an absolutely great race to be streaming for you lads. Now that the battles are starting to settle down a little bit, not too much action, it's time to maybe give you a quick run here into the final minutes of the race, where up at the front, leading and beating the lap times to 23.6 is his personal best during this race session. It's Peter Wolfslener leading the championship by a margin, and he's only been beaten once before in the eSeniors GT3 season, I think 3 or 4 is it? Where, yeah, he's basically only been beaten in Donington by Caiola, who is in 2nd place, but a little bit off the pace this time round. Still very impressive stuff, where that Italian driver is currently coming across the line and manifesting the gap to P3 here with Lars Eklund. So Lars Eklund here from Sweden, doing a great job, had a bit of a write-off which cost him the 2nd place in the race that he was able to maintain for quite a while. Chasing here not too far after, KB Smith, currently the fastest car out on track with a 24.7 being his last lap. It's putting up some fantastic pace. We're gonna see if it's enough to snatch himself another position. Chances are, if there are any mistakes ahead, he's gonna be benefiting from that. So 4 out of 5 cars being Ferraris up at the front can only be completed by the 177 driven by Rogerio Santos here. Very nice stuff, very strong pace, 24.8 for him on the last lap around as well. Sending that Ferrari around the track, absolutely flying at the moment, just like Smith is ahead of him. So they're going to be pushing each other a little bit. Alistair Hughes, with a decent qualification effort, started in 4th position but lost 2 places during the race here. Finds himself in 6th position with 5 minutes on the clock. Carlos Van Brabant started 9th and is currently in P7. So super stuff, but more importantly, Derek Bird here, once again sneaking in from the back of qualifying with 16th position, being the start of the race for him, and is now way up in 8th in the 701. So that's going to be basically one of the drivers of the day for me, seeing that he's just found so much pace and consistency, stayed out of trouble. Derek Bird, that is, had a very nice finish last time around as well. If I'm quickly having a look where Derek Bird ended, it's currently 3rd in the championship after finishing high up in Barcelona, Bathurst and Donington. So it looks like the qualification effort isn't quite his feat, but it is the race pace that matters in the end, and the finishing pace as well. So wrapping up another lap with Bird here, we're moving on to P9 where Miles Paunov is in the 69. Good race for him, yeah, I'd say so. He only has been going backwards a little bit since the qualifying, with a couple of issues, had the bit of contact which forced the retirement of the Porsche driver we saw earlier. But regardless of that, I think he's doing a great job bringing home P9 for himself. Then Jonathan Wood here is the car chasing. That's the number 71 Porsche, center of screen for you. And the Team West Coast Wankers, that is Jonathan Wood there. Started 17th, is currently in the top 10. So very nice race for him there as well. Where the closest battle on track, as we're wrapping up these top 10 right now, is Chris Baker in the Rotec Racing, who's just around the edge of breaking into slipstream here. Terry Trowbridge will have to continue defending with a Terry defense. And the number 97 Aston, and now up the hill, 2nd sector, and 40 minutes into the race. This is going to be much more difficult than at the start of it. Do have to quickly check in though with Carlos Van Band, who is diving absolutely to the inside with a switchback, and great racecraft there from both the drivers. We almost missed that move. Wow. Good thing we switched just on over there where Carlo Van Band had the inside line but couldn't quite stop the car in time. So that almost caused the collision there, as they are now chasing each other down into Pilgrim's Drop. And eventually has a little bit of a straight line advantage, but chances are with the exit that Hughes was getting there, he's going to be in a little bit of trouble here. 2nd sector with the Hawthorne Band being the first one up in line. Very clean line you have to take through there. Carry as much momentum as you can. And now into Westfield. That bend is one of the trickiest, just followed by the most challenging corner on the track. Sheen's up the hill and gotta hit that just right, not too much and not too little. Carrying speed up into Sterling's here. It's just one braking zone left for this lap. Bit of a sideways moment there on the exit. Carlos is finding himself in where Clark Curve will wrap things up. Not quite a move this time around, but he's definitely in striking distance, and so are Stair, Baker and Witten. To the outside the Porsche goes here, looking for a nice run into 2nd corner here. Druids will be a decisive factor once again with a decent run, but not lunging to the inside on this lap, as he's trying to carry around some decent mid-corner speed. Nothing too much here, but let's see how things develop. Same story there for the battle for P13. A little bit of a hesitation there as he's forced to lift off the gas, Carlo there, where the exit, see how much the car is jumping with the short wheelbase the Porsche has. Chances are you're gonna notice every little jump and bump right around Brands Hatch, where we're finding ourselves for round number 4 in the eSeniors GT3 tonight. So around just about 2 more laps. I'd have to check in where right now we are seeing the leader of the pack. It is Peter Wolfslehner, who is coming around the 196. Should come across the line in just a moment. No, he's actually on the lap. So this lap and then the next lap for Carlo, that is. And chances are Wolfslehner will wrap things up on this iteration around. They got a couple of more opportunities, but not too much. Want to chase here with Mirs Paunov, who had to let go of Bird and loses another position into 10th as he tends to the kitty litter, falling back behind Wood there. That is Jonathan Wood, who claims 9th position from his hands. That's a bit of an unfortunate finish. Quick check up here with the fight for position number 6 once again. Just want to bring that in, but not to worry because we have something to cover here. 1 second, and it'll be the checkered flag for Peter Wolfslehner. Right on there, he's finishing up final lap of the race. Checkered flag, there you see it waving. He's he's shoving the back marker there a little bit wide. I think that's number 16. Beautiful drive. Peter Wolfslehner shows us how it's done, and by a long shot. What a pace he's had. I want to definitely have a quick chat with him at the end of this. Is he available? Andrea Cariola takes the checkered flag in 2nd position. Well driven there as well. Managed to reclaim that spot that Lars Eklund was holding on for the longest part of the race. So number 696, Lars Eklund, finishing 3rd. Then it's KB Smith, who was already chasing there, finishing 4th position. Great pace. Rogerio Santos, not much has changed in that battle. I want to quickly follow up though, because we are seeing a side-by-side finish across the finish line. Looks like he's got it by 0.004. What a tight finish that was. We're going to get a screenshot of that one. He was just minusculely ahead of Carlo there. Wow, what a finish. Wow, Derek Bird will be the next to cross the line in P8, and I'm almost out of words how tight that finish was. Jonathan Wood then coming home in 9th place ahead of Mers Paunov, unable to reclaim that position this time round. David Noble finishes 11th. Craig Holmes, great recovery from him. Then Terry Throwbridge coming across the line in just 1 second, where he'll be taking 13th spot, and the points to come with it, where Chris Baker in the Rotec Racing is 14th now officially. Tony Whitten is 15th for you tonight. Peter De Jong, great stuff there, 16th place, where Andrew Abro just barely spots the pit lane entry. Good stuff there from the 56 driver, finishing 16th spot, and unfortunately the session is already over, so I can't quite finish up with the rest of them. Wow, what a finish there in the fight for P6. What a crazy end to this. But I have to say I'm very impressed after some initial incidents, just 1 or 2. It's been very clean, and it's been absolutely stunning to be able to broadcast this to you. I hope you've been enjoying yourself as much as I have been. So let me quickly check on the Discord here. We want to get you some interviews this time around. It's going to be very beautiful to get all this in for you lads. So wow, what a close finish up at the front. We have a couple of drivers in there in just a second. I do have to see. Yeah, P17 to P9. Rear damage and decided to park it. Yeah, that's probably the right thing. A bit unfortunate of a race finish for you there. We've had great battles all throughout the 45 minutes. Very close stuff, and hardly any chance. Now I am struggling a little bit with the fact that I don't have many drivers waiting. D-Bird. Who is D-Bird? Following this up. Alright, so whoever has the chance to get the replay and wonderful stuff, and joining me here in the broadcast booth is going to be your P3 finish, Lars Eklund. Congratulations. Let me quickly, hold on just 1 second. Don't think they were able to hear you for this one. Now, try again. Yes, great, congratulations.
Thank you. Lars Eklund here. Yes, thank you.
It was such a great drive. We had that one mistake which cost you P2, but I do think it was very consistent until that point. How do you feel your race performance was tonight?
It was great. I feel when Jörgen Bolby and Andreas Pettersson wasn't here, I felt that I must represent Sweden and do my best.
You did so fantastically. I have to say, it was great to watch. Honestly, Did you feel that there was any sort of pressure for most of the race, or did you feel that it was just both of you driving very respectively?
I feel Andrea and me, we did same mistakes, I think, and switch position one time with each other.
Right. Yeah.
And I should call Ferrari. It was very warm in my car. They must turn up the air condition, I think.
Yeah, they might have forgotten the drink as well. It's
Yes,
good.
yes.
It's very, very tough for you sometimes, the Ferrari boys. So, in terms of the race preparations, just before we quickly wrap up this interview, what sort of rhythm do you go through in preparations for a race like this?
How do you mean? Which lap time I did?
Oh no, like how do you prepare? What do you do?
Ah, I usually I go from both setup and usually that's it's very great. So that's more or less the balance and fine tuning of that. And but in ACC it's very much dependent on the tire pressure. So
Right.
that's a tricky part to set correct.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's only practice and practice and practice. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, congratulations once again on the P3 finish. You can leave the broadcasting room or you can stay along if you would like to. So that right on here we have Andrea Caiola, your P2 finish. Last minute effort and able to make it stick. Nice gap there towards the end. P2, how do you feel?
I'm doing great. Because I think at the end I've been able to get back my second place after recovering from my mistake that I did with a great fight with Lars. And at the end there were no other way that put pressure on him because the pace was similar and there were no way I could pass him in a safe way. So
yeah,
it went well. So that's the result.
Very difficult, really, to get yourself around on Brands Hatch. Just the overtaking opportunities are so sparse. Do you feel that the Aston has any particular area where it accelerates in around the track? Well,
actually, I think I don't think the Aston in this track is the best car because it's very predictable and that's great. It gives you a sense of security and safety, but exiting from the bend, it's always a bit of a struggle. So
right, yeah,
and it's a bit heavy, but I mean, I'm happy with my Aston. We'll have other tracks where maybe I can have a little bit of an edge.
Yeah, it's quite interesting that you say that because obviously last time around Donington you were able to actually secure the first spot, win the race ahead of Wolfslaner. Now this time he was quite far ahead in terms of the pace. How did that make you feel during the race? Is there any chance you're going to be coming back on the next one with a win?
Well, next one, I'm going to miss that one, unfortunately, but the one after, maybe we'll prepare for that. But yeah, so Peter had a pace that was absolutely unbeatable today, and I think I did everything I could, and then a nice fight with Lars. Of course, we lost time, two of us, but I could not have done more than second place, honestly, so happy with that.
Yeah, great effort for you as well. Congratulations to your second place. Now in here as well is the man of the evening. It's Peter Wolfsling. And herzlichen Glückwunsch. It's super great to see you put up such an amazing pace, cracking the 122s in qualification. How do you feel about the race tonight?
Good evening, and thank you very much, and congratulations to Andrea Giola, and also of course to Lars Eklund. Our podium was really great. I have to say, Brands Hatch is really something fit very good to the Ferrari, and so the pranking horse here is really very smooth, and I have to say the gap to Andrea and to Lars is normally not such big, and this is something to do with the car. Yes, so I'm feeling well, and it was a good race. and I always had a look on the qualification. I said, Andrea will always come in the last 1 or 2 minutes. He put his best time at the end, so
Right.
I was sweating.
Got you on the edge of the seat. Very nice to hear that you're also a little bit vulnerable there. Obviously, the chat loves you a lot. Is there any sort of shoutouts you want to do?
I don't know. Yes, of course. I don't have any fans. Sorry, I don't know.
You should maybe get some. The way that you're driving, it's super great to watch. Honestly, big congratulations there.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks. Now the race, I have to say, I was a little bit lucky due to the situation that Andrea and Lars they battled each other, and as we know, this will take time, and so I can focus on my race. And I managed. I had a look on the tires, and I got a little bit heat in the tires, and then I said, 24, low 24, high 23 is good for the tires to keep them, and so that was very nice.
Right. Yeah, I think that's very well managed. Where we could see that you're kind of holding the gap where it exactly needed to be. So once again, congratulations! It's your third win so far in the eSeniors GT3 World Championship. That's your race winners, Peter Wolfslehner, as well as P2, Andrea Cariola, and Lars Eklund. That'll be it for the stream. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you again in a week's time on Sunday. Have a good evening, and until then.